This week marks Veterans Day. As we honor our service members, it's important to note their key challenges, including access to legal services. Here in Texas, programs like Veterans Legal Aid Week help provide free civil legal services to veterans in need. For more about supporting our veterans, we have the Executive Director of the Texas Access to Justice Foundation, Betty Bailly-Torres, and State Supreme Court Justice Brett Busby, who works with the foundation. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So first, let's start with Betty. We know many veterans face a number of hardships in this country. We tend to think of access to mental health resources or housing first. But what would you say are the most common legal service issues facing Texas veterans?
Texas veterans face several issues. Some of it actually relates to trying to access the benefits that VA benefits that they earned and that they deserve. And sometimes they're not able to do that. And so legal intervention is often helpful. Oftentimes they also face issues relating to housing, to the family law issues, are some of the more common issues faced by veterans.
And the Legal Aid Week program put on by the foundation highlights these services. Justice Busby, can you tell us more about that? What's the mission overall of this week?
Sure. So veterans have sacrificed so much for us, and we, the Texas Supreme Court, want to be sure that the legal profession is there for them to help meet these critical needs. And so this last legislative session, the court sought $7 million in our budget to help provide free veterans legal services for veterans in need, and the legislature approved that funding. And then this past week, the court approved granting those funds out to 13 legal aid providers all around the state who are going to put that money to work helping veterans.
And what qualifies veterans to receive this support?
So I think one important thing to note is that these services are free, but there is an eligibility requirement. And so a veteran, and let me also say that it's veterans and their immediate family members are eligible. And so to qualify, it would be up to 200% of the federal poverty guidelines.
I see. And so how, though, can beyond this week and Veterans Day, can these eligible veterans access legal support year-round?
So we're just highlighting our services this week. The reality is that providing services to veterans is in our DNA, and we do that day in and day out throughout the year. And so they can there's a couple ways to do it. There's many ways, but one of the easy ways is to call 1-800-622-2520, and you press option 2 to speak to someone about services. And another one is to go to www.texaslawhelp.org. And there you will be able to enter your zip code, and you'll be able to see what program is able to provide services to you.
And can you give us an example of kind of a typical case for y'all? And I know both of you can attest anything in the legal system does take a bit of time. How long are you typically working with each of the veterans and veterans family you support?
It depends on the services that they need, how long it might take. Sometimes it's just talking to a caseworker at the VA to try to be sure that their application for benefits receives the proper consideration. Sometimes it's negotiating with a landlord or with an employer, say, if somebody has a service-connected disability, for example, and is having some issues with work, or if somebody needs to be absent from work in order to, if they're in the reserves and need to be called up and have an absence from work, that's another example. So each case really depends how long it's going to take on what's going on in the individual case. Sometimes the lawyers who are helping are able to negotiate a resolution without going to court, and then sometimes it involves representation in court.
And on a personal level, why is this particular need among our veterans so important for each of you?
Well, I'm an Air Force brat. And so my dad served in Korea, he served in Vietnam, and I know firsthand that when a family member serves, the entire family serves. And so our veterans sacrifice so much, and so do family members, and that is why personally it's important to me.
And for me, both my father and both my grandfathers served. And so this is a way that we can give back to the people who've sacrificed so much for us and ensure that they receive the benefits that they're entitled to and are able to navigate our legal system and have their issues fairly heard in the court system. And it's also a great way not only for us at the Supreme Court and for the legislature, but also for all lawyers around the state to help and come together, because a lot of lawyers around the state will provide pro bono legal services. Even those who are in private law firms and don't work for legal aid will often take on cases helping veterans. And so it's a great way that we as the whole legal profession can come together and help.
And it's something that is so important, clearly, but not a lot of people think of unless they have a veteran in their life. It's something so important that is lost on some, and I'm so glad that we can highlight that this week. I know, like both of y'all, this is near and dear to my heart. Multiple family members in my immediate family have served as well, and I know so many of those watching at home. Well, Betty Bayou Torres with the Texas Access to Justice Foundation and Justice Busby, thank you both for explaining these resources for veterans here in Texas for Veterans Day and beyond.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment below to let us know your thoughts on this video. And don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Austin Insight for free in the PBS app.